Look at this graph. See this cliff? That's the moment Nas Daily lost 500,000 followers. But the real story isn't in the numbers. It's in what happened behind the scenes that nobody saw coming. While everyone was watching his viral videos, something was happening behind the scenes that would eventually destroy everything he built. His fall was even faster than his rise. Here's everything that went wrong for Nas Daily. Nas Daily, whose real name is Nusir Yassin, built an empire on feel-good storytelling. His fast-paced, high-energy videos made the world seem smaller, more connected, and full of possibilities. He wasn't just a content creator, he was a movement. People believed in his message of unity, positivity, and change. But with rapid success came scrutiny, and soon, cracks started to show. Allegations of exploitation, political controversy, and a series of missteps turned his once loyal audience against him.
Oh my God!
Another content creator.
It happened to us!
He's a willing tool of Israel's brutal propaganda machine.
Yeah!
Nusir Yassin was born in Araba, Israel, to a Palestinian Arab Muslim family with Israeli citizenship. From a young age, he stood out, not just for his intelligence, but for his curiosity about the world. Unlike many in his community, he had a unique path ahead of him.
When I was a kid, my biggest dream was to study at Harvard. But when I told that to my friends, they said, Harvard is expensive.
He secured a scholarship to Harvard University, where he studied economics and computer science and graduated in 2014. After Harvard, he landed a job as a software engineer at Venmo, a dream position for many. But for Yassin, it felt empty. He sat behind a screen, coding all day, watching time slip away. He wanted more. He wanted to see the world, tell stories, and make an impact. And so, in 2016, he made a bold decision. He quit his job and embarked on an experiment that would change his life forever. I mean, I have never seen anyone pull this strategy off on YouTube. With a camera in hand and a vision in mind, Yassin set out to create 1-minute videos every single day for 1,000 days. It was a radical concept. Short, high-energy videos that felt fresh, engaging, and packed with emotion. He didn't just document places. He told stories about people, ideas, and cultures, always wrapping them in a positive, uplifting message. And not just that, his sign-off was very iconic. It was more than a catchphrase. It was a promise. Audiences knew they could come back for more the next day. His storytelling style was fast, immersive, and packed with energy. It was content built for the modern attention span, and it worked. His videos exploded on Facebook, then spread to YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Within a few years, he had amassed millions of followers. By the time he completed his 1,000-day challenge, Nas Daily was no longer just a person, it was a brand. Yassin understood that if he wanted to sustain his success, he needed to scale up. So, he transitioned from being a solo creator to running a full-fledged media company. He hired a team, expanded production, and started working with brands. So now Nas Daily is a full-fledged business. He can enjoy the kind of life he wasn't. It wasn't until 2022 that he made a major lifestyle shift. He settled in the UAE, leaving behind the nomadic travel life that had defined his early career.
After traveling to 80 countries around the world, I found that Dubai is the best place to live and work. And this is why.
The move was strategic. Dubai offered business opportunities, a thriving creator economy, and a more stable base. No longer the backpacking content creator, he was now a businessman, operating in a space where social media, tech, and entrepreneurship intersected, and his estimated net worth at this point was between $5 and $7 million. He was living a high-profile yet more private life, focusing on long-term ventures rather than daily viral hits.
Uncomfortable question.
We love money. We should all say exactly how much money we make right here.
Okay, good idea. Start with yourself.
We know 77,000 tomorrow. But what about the other days?
So my financial journey is actually very transparent,
Yeah.
and I love sharing it because
please.
it's. So I started with $30,000 in savings. I spent 1 year. I didn't make any money until I started to make $1,000, $2,000 a month from jobs when I had 100,000 followers. A job, brand deal comes here, a brand deal comes here. I was charging $1,000, $2,000.
His content also changed. The Nas Daily page was still active, but the energy wasn't the same. The uploads were less frequent, and the reception was mixed. Some videos still performed well, but the mass appeal was gone. Then came Nas Academy, a platform he launched in 2021.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Nas Academy. It's a new type of school that we built to teach you real skills.
Promising to teach storytelling to aspiring creators. The idea seemed brilliant. Well, who better to teach digital storytelling than the man who mastered it? Nas Academy remained operational, targeting aspiring creators. Then there was Nas Talks, a podcast channel focused on business and success stories, sporadic uploads, niche topics. It was clear his audience had shifted. The numbers told the story. His original fans, the ones who followed him for travel and feel-good narratives, had dwindled. A new audience had taken their place, smaller, more focused, aligned with his current entrepreneurial and business-driven mindset.
Sometimes we get a brand deal in which I have to go on the spot for one full day and make a video about a person.
Interesting. So sometimes the characters that are in your video are actually paid sponsorships.
Yeah, sometimes, yes.
Do you say that in the video?
So it's actually like less than 3% of the content. And we do not say that because, well, one, in the post, it's when we say thank you to XYZ, blah, blah, for making this possible.
But the scale was nowhere near what it used to be. But this move also marked a turning point. As his focus shifted toward monetization, his once authentic persona started to feel corporate. Deals with governments, collaborations with controversial figures, and accusations of exploitation soon followed. The man who once inspired millions was now under intense scrutiny. And just like that, the cracks in his empire began to show. At one point, Nas Daily was the internet's favorite storyteller. His videos felt real, full of energy, and packed with optimism. But somewhere along the way, something changed. His audience started noticing a shift. His content, once filled with personal passion, began to feel more like polished advertisements. The excitement that made him special was fading. The message of unity and inspiration started sounding more like a sales pitch. Was Nas Daily still the same person people fell in love with, or had he turned into just another influencer chasing money? As he grew, so did his business deals. But those deals came with a price, his authenticity. Suddenly, his stories weren't just about people and cultures. They were about brands, governments, and sponsors. He didn't always disclose these partnerships, leaving fans feeling deceived. People began to ask, had he sold out? Was his content even genuine anymore? The shift in public perception was fast and brutal. Once an inspiration, he was now being called a propagandist, a sellout, and worst of all, an exploiter. Things took a serious turn when he was accused of cultural exploitation.
And initially, I didn't believe you're trying to scam them and you're not trying to trick them.
Yeah.
I believe.
No, that is the truth. So we went there, and basically now Nas Academy is led by an incredible team. They're very smart people, and they are the ones who do these partnerships. I have nothing to do with it. They lead the efforts.
But it was the Whang-Od controversy that truly exposed the problem. In 2021, Nas Daily launched an online course featuring Whang-Od, the legendary Filipino tattoo artist.
The primary Nas Daily Facebook page experiences a massive drop in followers as the controversy surrounding Nas Daily creator Nusir Yassin, world-renowned traditional tattoo artist Whang-Od, and Filipino chef and entrepreneur Luis Mabulo escalates.
The problem was that Whang-Od's family claimed they never gave permission. The Filipino community was outraged. People accused Nas of profiting off indigenous culture without consent. Within days, he lost over 500,000 followers. His brand, once seen as uplifting, was now being called out for exploitation. Not long after, another controversy hit. A young Filipino farmer, Luis Mabulo, accused Nas of mocking her accent and dismissing her efforts to help farmers.
Dare to feed the future. Dare to purchase sustainable produce, and dare to make your own sustainable produce.
According to her, he wasn't interested in real stories, just marketable ones. He allegedly called Filipinos poor people with no idea how to farm. Whether or not this was true, the damage was done. The backlash was fierce. People started questioning whether Nas Daily was really about changing the world or just using people's struggles as content.
Fortunately, we stumbled upon a fake story in the Philippines, which is the Cacao Project. On paper, it was supposed to be a non-profit that helps farmers. In reality, it's a for-profit that exploits farmers. We said we cannot do this video in good conscience. We cannot show you things that we are not confident of.
Then came the political firestorm. In 2023, he made a video calling Bali the whitest island in Asia. It was meant to highlight how many foreigners lived there, but locals saw it as misrepresentation. They accused him of ignoring the true culture of Bali and reducing it to a stereotype. Once again, he found himself at the center of online outrage.
A lot of people want to see Israel disappear. I don't. I think Israel should exist because it has good people inside of it. And I think Palestine should exist because it has good people inside of it. And that's why I think it's not one or the other. And I really don't like it when everybody keeps saying it's one country, it's fake countries. It's a stupid argument.
But the real controversy came when he publicly declared, "I do not want to live under a Palestinian government." Given his background as a Palestinian Arab with Israeli citizenship, this statement triggered massive backlash. Pro-Palestine activists accused him of being a propaganda tool for Israel. Protests erupted, calling him out for whitewashing Israeli actions in Gaza. He had always been a polarizing figure in political discussions, but now he had become a full-blown target. As these controversies piled up, people started digging deeper. They realized that many of his heartwarming viral videos were actually paid promotions. Governments, tourism boards, and corporations were behind some of his biggest videos, but he rarely disclosed it. One of his biggest mistakes was when he endorsed Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of FTX. In 2022, Nas called him the most generous billionaire. He painted him as a hero, someone using his wealth for good. But just months later, FTX collapsed in one of the biggest fraud scandals in history. Bankman-Fried was arrested and later sentenced to 25 years in prison. The internet turned on Nas Daily. Did he really believe in Bankman-Fried's vision, or was he just part of the machine? But that's not all, because his stance on his identity in politics has changed over the years, and so has the reaction to it.
So you're saying, oh, that's a great question. So you're saying, did I succeed because of my political opinion? I succeeded despite my political opinion, not because of it. And you have no idea how difficult it is.
Earlier in his career, he introduced himself as a Palestinian Israeli, emphasizing his Palestinian roots first. He positioned himself as someone who could bridge divides, showing the world that coexistence was possible. But as his platform grew, so did the scrutiny. In 2023, an ex-post and an interview with Haaretz revealed a shift. He now identified as Israeli first, Palestinian second. That one statement flipped the script. The man who once claimed to represent both sides was now seen as picking one. His public statements became even more polarizing. At the NDTV Summit, he spoke about a two-state solution, calling for Palestine to be free from Hamas, while also supporting Israel's existence.
My political opinion, which I made very clear, that we need two states for two people, but also we need to free Palestine from Hamas, from radical, from terrorism. I'm not for that at all. And I think Israel should exist. Every time I say the I word, which is Israel, I lose followers. Every time I say the I word, which is the country I'm from, I lose brand deals.
To some, it was a balanced take. To others, it was a betrayal. His words sparked intense debates. Some felt he was oversimplifying an incredibly complex conflict. Others saw his stance as aligning too closely with one side. The backlash wasn't just online, it also spilled into the real world. The impact was immediate. Longtime followers felt alienated. Brand deals quietly disappeared. Protests erupted in Japan, a country where he had built a strong following. Across the Middle East, his name became controversial. The man who once prided himself on uniting people had now become a dividing figure. His political statements weren't just opinions, they had real consequences.
Yeah, I am banned from 20 countries.
Nas Daily will lose some of the magic in the next 5 years.
For the past week, there has been a lot of fake news about Nas Daily. Nas Daily is a liar. Nas Daily hates the Philippines. That's why today, I want to talk about Nas Daily in the Philippines.
As the backlash grew, conspiracy theories started swirling. Some believed Nas Daily was backed by the Israeli government, using his platform to push Western and Israeli narratives. His move to the UAE in 2022 only added fuel to the fire. Was it just a lifestyle choice, or was there something more? His critics saw him as a propaganda puppet, shaping global opinions through carefully crafted content. Another issue was his collaborations. Over the years, Nas worked with multiple influencers and business figures, but as some of them faced scandals, his associations didn't age well.
I wanted to get rich not because I like money, but because I wanted to give that money to charity.
Binance founder CZ sentenced to 4 months in prison on anti-money laundering charges.
Binance agrees to pay $4.3 billion, and their CEO has pled guilty to violating money laundering rules and has stepped down, claiming, quote, "I make mistakes and I must take responsibility."
What is your relationship with Binance now?
I have stepped down from the CEO role. I am not supposed to be involved in any day-to-day operations of the company. My shareholder rights, as far as I know, are not impacted. So today I'm still a large shareholder of Binance.
Beyond the controversies, people started questioning the way he ran his business. Nas Daily had built a brand around storytelling, but many believed he was now just selling the dream of storytelling. His courses promised to teach people how to become viral creators, but some found them overpriced and ineffective. Critics saw it as another cash grab, profiting off naive creators who thought they could replicate his success. And so the man who once brought the world together with 1-minute videos was now facing the harsh reality of internet fame. The rise had been fast, the fall was even faster.
In my villain chapter, I have had so many controversies, And I want to show you that these controversies, even though they position you as an evil person, as a villain, they're actually not.
The internet never forgets. After years of building his brand, Nas Daily found himself in a place he never expected, losing his audience. His once loyal followers had moved on. His videos, which used to get millions of views within hours, now struggled to gain traction. The excitement around his content had faded. The controversies had left a lasting impact, and trust was broken. Even those who once defended him seemed hesitant to engage. In an attempt to move past the scandals, he tried a new direction. His content shifted toward entrepreneurship, education, and business advice. He focused on self-improvement, hoping to rebrand himself as more than just a travel vlogger, but the audience wasn't buying it. People couldn't forget the accusations, the missteps, the controversies. His past followed him everywhere. No matter how hard he tried to pivot, the internet had already made up its mind. It wasn't just about the numbers, it was about influence. Nas Daily had built his brand on trust, on the idea that he was an authentic storyteller who cared about the world. But once that trust was shattered, it was nearly impossible to rebuild. Every new post was met with skepticism. Every project felt like an attempt to fix a reputation that, to many, was beyond repair. Even so, the question remains, can he recover? I mean, some influencers have come back from worse. With time, transparency, and genuine accountability, redemption is possible. But the internet is ruthless. It doesn't forget. The rise of Nas Daily had been built on a carefully crafted image of positivity and inspiration. The fall was a reminder that audiences are smarter than ever. Once they feel deceived, they don't just forgive and forget. The reality is, social media moves fast. New creators rise every day. The influencers of yesterday can quickly become irrelevant. Nas Daily's story was once an inspiration to millions. Now it serves as a cautionary tale. How do you balance storytelling and business? How do you grow without losing what made you special? Can someone who built their brand on trust ever fully recover after losing it? These are the questions Nas Daily is facing. For now, he continues to post. He still runs Nas Academy. He still tries to engage with his audience. But the golden days are over. The name Nas Daily doesn't spark the same excitement it once did. His future is uncertain, and whether he will ever regain his influence remains to be seen. If there's one thing to take away from this story, it's that influence is a privilege, not a guarantee. What do you think about Nas Daily's downfall? Share with us in the comments. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to get more videos like this.